A lot of times in the hospital particularly, they feel like they have to stay right there in between the legs where the legs are open and we're waiting for the placenta. When generally speaking, it's okay to step back and a little bit away, where you could still observe if there's a huge gush of blood or something else going on. We could step away just a little bit and let them have their time. And a lot of times in my experience in home birth, we see that where the baby gets delivered, they're still connected to mom, still connected to the placenta, and the midwife steps back a bit and just gives them their time. But in the hospital, it's like, do. We get so task oriented, we forget that this is just really a beautiful, pivotal moment.
Yeah.
And
You saying that, it is interesting to think about, because in the home birth setting, you're right, there is, but it's also a different environment, right? So like, it would be normal for your home birth midwife to sit on the couch or to kind of just wait while you spend that time with your baby. But in a delivery room, it's structured a little different, right?
Yes.
So like, where does the midwife go? But I could see, a midwife sit on like the stool or something kind of off to the side, but I've never seen that in real life. I've never seen the OB
hospital.
or the midwife. Yeah. Go and take a seat on the couch while we wait for the placenta. As long as they can see that bleeding is well managed, though, like it seems like something you could do.
Right.
But I wonder what your people would think, like the nursing team would think, with the midwife's just like, I'm gonna go sit over here.
Yeah. Or even along those lines is patient education. While we wait for this placenta to deliver, I'm gonna just step away so you guys can have your time. If you feel a big gush or something warm or anything, just let me know. I'll be here. I'm going to be making some notes in my notebook or whatever. Just let me know if you feel anything different. And even patients with an epidural, have you noticed that even patients with an epidural, they can feel certain gushes, they can feel pressure, and they can even feel when they're being sutured. So, like, it's not beyond the realm of a possibility that they could experience that feeling, of something between their legs or something like that.
Yeah.
But a nurse has so much to chart on with the strip and everything going on. They have orders to put in. As a nurse, we have more than enough to keep us busy after the baby's delivered, before the cord gets clamped. And but we are so task oriented that sometimes we just forget that there's other people there experiencing this for the first time.
Yeah. I also think that it's an anxiety thing too for the midwife, of like the hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is one of the biggest risks to women in childbirth. So, even though the waiting on the placenta, we have to have the placenta come first before we typically see that hemorrhage happen.
Right.
But I think maybe the midwives or the OB is anxious about, well, the placenta might come if I'm not there, right there, and then the hemorrhage could happen, and then we could miss, some of the bleeding or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I could see it kind of being different if we just took a step back and kind of watched from, a little bit of a distance.